Hello, and welcome to this live audio webcast titled How to Stop Chasing DevOps Excellence and Drive More Business Innovation, brought to you by Mirantis and IDG. My name's Tom Schmidt, Digital Content Director at IDG's Strategic Marketing Services, and I'll be the moderator of today's webcast. Joining me is Mansoor Ali, Head of Professional Services Operations at Mirantis. As Head of Services Operations, Mansoor is responsible for sustaining a large and effective team through strategic multi-regional hiring, continuous grooming of top talent, and operational best practices. Hello, Mansoor.
Pleasure to be here, Tom, and thank you for moderating for us today.
You're very welcome. Also joining me is Damian Jennings, an engagement manager at Mirantis. Damian helps enterprises transform their architectures and services through the application of containers, Kubernetes and open source, and cloud-native technologies. Welcome, Damian.
Hi, Tom. Delighted to be here.
And please welcome Amanda Phelps, also an engagement manager with Mirantis. Amanda is a process-focused program manager with extensive experience working in matrix organizations and developing plans to bring order from chaos. Hello, Amanda.
Good to be here, Tom.
Before we get started, a quick word about this webcast. We are live today, and we welcome your questions and feedback. You can ask questions of our speakers by typing them in the Q&A box on your screen and then pressing the submit button. We'll do our best to answer your questions during the Q&A segment of the webcast. But if we can't answer your questions then, we'll get back to you with an answer within a few days. We've got a great session lined up for you today, so let's dive right in. Mansoor, can you kick things off by telling us a little bit about Mirantis and then what you'll be sharing with us today?
Absolutely, and thank you, Tom. First off, let me welcome everyone joining us today. I want to quickly introduce Mantis before we really dive in. At Mirantis, we help organizations ship code faster, both on public and private clouds. We provide a public cloud experience on any infrastructure from data center to the edge. With Lens and our cloud-native platform, Mirantis empowers a new breed of Kubernetes developers. We do this by removing complexity around infrastructure and operations. We provide one cohesive cloud experience for complete app and DevOps portability. A single pane of glass, if you will, with an automated full-stack lifecycle management, including continuous updates. Mantis serves many of the world's leading enterprises, and we are continuously adding to this portfolio. Today, we will share with you an exciting addition to our services offerings. We have called them Run Services. These supporting managed services from Mirantis are focused in the world of increasingly complex application delivery tools, as well as infrastructures. We believe they will enable you to provide your service excellence, as well as finding your high-value line. For over 10 years, Mirantis has been assisting our customers overcome various degrees of platform management challenges. This is done through our market-leading support and operations portfolio, which include ops care, prod care, and lab care. I'm excited to say Mirantis Solutions and Services has incubated and developed One, a managed service that will further enable our customers to focus on high-value activity. We achieve this through an extended ownership of the people, process, and technology objectives. And our solutions and services will deliver as much of the undifferentiated heavy lifting that makes sense for you. Thank you, Tom.
Well put, Mansoor. Damian, can you walk us through the typical challenges and stages of building out an enterprise-class service?
Sure, Tom. DevOps technologies and methods are not necessarily new. They are being continuously innovated, and this can become a drain on your finite resources as you engage in a cycle of constant adaptation. At the same time, the pursuit of these technological advantages is assumed to be ever more critical to the success of your business. How is it possible for you to satisfy this technological demand and also support a business differentiation strategy that actually drives growth for your business? As we can see in the diagram, there are several stages to building out an enterprise-class service. Validating the most appropriate new technology, then efficiently and correctly initiating the service is a demand on resources and of experience. Often new technologies or approaches cannot be considered as key resources are tied up with existing operational and support tasks. Administering and operating a new portfolio of services within your business's existing expectations will take new resources and skills, but nonetheless will provide the value back to the users who will adopt and rely on them. The next challenges are fulfilling an increased demand, maintaining an optimized performance and service availability, whilst also budgeting and planning for further service development that is uncertain. This is often the stage where a limit is reached and business innovation becomes an operational cost of the delivery of the optimized technological advantage. By partnering with a trusted expert, that burden can at least in part be relieved with a supporting service. At this stage, staff training, reallocation of existing resources, or a simple change of priority can transform lower value return activities into higher value returning activities within the same budgetary plan. This enhanced value is now found through your delivery of business innovation and is greater than the sum of the supporting service.
Amanda, can you describe Mirantis' approach to service excellence?
Yes. Our prescriptive service methodology delivers the knowledge and expertise to avoid common blockers, develop solutions, and leverage field-proven processes and tools to make sure your service is a success. Your service commences with initiate, collaborating through workshops and review iterations of your target platform. The current to future state blueprints and operational guides are agreed to and documented. The deployment, integration, and validation of your service is executed in line with a clear understanding of the solution features and expectations of the benefits. Once your service is transitioned into production, it's ready for onboarding. Your service is then proactively monitored with defined thresholds and related reporting capabilities. Your service will benefit from reduced risk of outage with proactive event detection and classification, quicker incident response for non-critical issues, and maximized uptime with automated monitoring followed with regular human verifications. Our administer processes will diagnose, own, monitor, and even escalate incidents until closure. Your service benefits from improved uptime and a preempting of business impacts before they occur. But if they do, we invoke a faster problem resolution. Service requests are proactively fulfilled with managed operations that also includes the lifecycle management through execution of patch and software upgrades. Regular management reports on your service provided valuable insight for better decision-making. So not only does your service benefit from defined and repeatable management processes needed to deliver against service level objectives or service level agreements, your service can be further optimized through service enhancement requests, parallel consulting engagements, or even training in new technology.
Great. Damian and Amanda, can you walk us through how a continuous integration, continuous delivery pipeline automates the process?
Of course, Tom, thank you. I'd like to quickly run through a basic description of a pipeline, and then I will pass to Amanda to describe our pipeline as your service offering. CI/CD processes and tools automate the software delivery process. During the build phase, the source code and dependencies are combined into a runnable image and then placed into the registry. Automated tests validate the code's correctness and behavior. Depending on the size and complexity of the project, these tests can be in multiple stages, which is often parallelized to reduce runtime. Once the code has passed all predefined tests, it's ready to deploy. There are often multiple deployment environments, and it is usual to deploy work in progress into a staging or pre-prod environment for final manual testing and validation. The code is then approved for deployment from the master into production. Excellence in delivery of your CI/CD will provide a technological advantage, as best practice pipelines remove manual errors, provide standardized feedback loops to developers, and enable fast product iterations. Amanda, would you like to take us through our offer now, please?
I'd love to. So Pipeline as Your Service is a managed CI/CD platform from Mirantis, and it fast-tracks your developers and platform engineers to differentiate your business. Deployed and then fully managed by Mirantis, your pipeline builds your developers' code, runs tests, and safely deploys new versions of your applications. Current recommendations and sometimes regulations require implementing industry best practices for a secure supply chain centered around your image registry. Pipeline as Your Service also enhances your production operations with functionality for running regular Kubernetes, host OS, middleware, or other IT infrastructure component scans. You can even choose where your managed pipeline is located, either on premises or across a choice of supported cloud infrastructure. Your service leverages industry-leading container platform technology components with pre-validated and integrated lifecycle and observability functionality. Your pipeline is then delivered through proven service management methodology under an agreed service level. Your pipeline as a service from Mirantis will not only accelerate the modernization of your development technology, it will fast-track CI/CD best practice compliance and mitigate operational efforts within predicted budgets.
Mansoor, can you elaborate on DevOps as a service and what Mirantis means by DevOps as your service?
Certainly. So there are many industry definitions of DevOps as a service, from hiring DevOps engineers on demand to, for example, moving CI/CD automation to the cloud. For us, it means the following. One, giving you the best DevOps experience and platform engineering services. Two, helping you integrate all elements of your on-prem cloud ecosystem with your infrastructure to unlock full potential of your cloud. And three, a combination of giving you a complete set of managed DevOps tooling and best practices to allow you to get full value of your cloud. Also, dedicated services specific to your environment, apps, and infrastructure ecosystem. Stepping back a bit, we basically want to be Sherpas for your cloud journey, taking you from point X to your destination. We remove the pain, complexity, struggles, and unpredictable cost of DevOps by providing you with a fully managed turnkey DevOps experience, enabling you to realize your business value faster, securely, and with predictability. We want to solution your DevOps experience based on guaranteed outcomes where possible. Let's take a look at DevOps as your service from a functional standpoint. Cloud design is an absolute essential element of your cloud journey. Cloud design contains architectural workshops and design reviews to construct your solution roadmap specific to your business, technology, security, and operational needs. It contains analysis of your infrastructure and cloud environment requirements, as well as elements of Mirantis DevOps tooling and integrations that would give you value. And these get implemented after the cloud is ready. For cloud deployment, we start with Mirantis Container Cloud Deployment based on your solution roadmap. This becomes a foundation to efficiently deploy and validate OpenStack and container clusters, immediately unlocking you to execute on your cloud value with the initial set of OpenStack and orchestrated container clusters. Agile feature development includes engaging our experts to review your initial objectives and then to iterate on your solution roadmap. In this process, we are creating a customer-specific backlog of DevOps tasks, including installation of DevOps tooling, integrations of your cloud clusters and tooling into your infrastructure, and identifying customer-specific DevOps tasks for dedicated engineers. We are also defining an agile process for delivering on this backlog according to your level of DevOps service, including backlog refinement, sprint planning, and retrospectives. Cloud operations and feature maintenance processes make sure that you can use your cloud clusters and specific deliverables that you have received in an efficient and uninterrupted manner, always on and always up to date. The best part here is we do all of this in close collaboration with your teams and according to the level of engagement that you need. In order to be successful, we need to have shortcut to your application teams and ideally be able to work with them directly. Should you have multiple teams, there needs to be an owner or single point of contact on your side that will be able to gather requirements from different teams and translate them into decisions on how to implement. You will be assisted with this process by Mantis architects who will share best practices and state-of-the-art solutions that are proven in the market and ones that work well across other customers. Thank you, Tom.
Excellent. Damian, let's recap what you've presented today and focus on the key takeaways you'd like our audience to have.
Sure thing. Thank you, Tom, again. Let's start by looking at today's CNCF landscape. It is a potential goldmine of innovation and technological advantage. Mirantis is an organization with an impressive heritage in CNCF membership and contribution across OpenStack, container, and other cloud-native related technologies. We not only have this deep expertise, we have a proven provenance in delivery of these technologies for realized technological advantage. Your service from Mirantis, at a scale that fits your needs, ensures your achievement across the critical people, process, and technology objectives for your enterprise class service. You can count on leading industry knowledge of Mirantis consultants and training experts to understand new use cases and enable your correct selection of new technologies. Partnering with the Mirantis team, your service will free up your IT staff from business as usual activities to focus on new innovation. Rely on Mirantis' proven experience in consistent delivery of healthy platforms as your foundation to transform. Application of our proven methodologies across your service will enable achievement of your quality of service objectives. You will be able to accurately plan for future scale with surety of costs and supply without sacrificing improvements in stability, efficiency, and availability. We would be delighted to discuss how we can partner across your DevOps journey and accelerate you finding your high-value line. Include Your Service from Mirantis to support the undifferentiated heavy lifting and ensure your DevOps excellence, whilst you refocus resources away from the race to remain technologically current onto your business differentiation goals.
Excellent. Thank you, Damian. Well, it's now time for the audience Q&A segment of our webcast. As I said earlier, you can ask questions of our speakers by typing them in the Q&A box on your screen and then pressing the submit button. Looks like we have a couple here already. Let me go to the first one. You mentioned guaranteed outcomes. As you know, this is not a clear-cut aspect with infrastructure. What are some examples of guaranteed outcomes as you see it? Mansoor, can I pass that one to you?
Absolutely. So this is actually absolutely correct. It is a challenge indeed to facilitate one-size-fits-all guaranteed outcome approach when you're catering to the notion of customized cloud solutions. That being said, we are able to extract out elements that we can present in this manner. For example, we offer availability and restoration SLAs for our stack. A proven set of open source tools deployed on customer environments and operated by Mantis engineers, ready to use, always working, and always up to date. A couple of examples here would be CI/CD pipeline, image building pipelines, templates and best practices documentation, such as workload onboarding, automation templates, and templates for OpenStack resource provisioning. So these would be some very specific examples of guaranteed outcomes. Tom?
Great. The next one. Do we have to engage with fully managed services in order to have planning assistance and roadmap development? Can we still select just the services we need? Amanda, can I throw that your way?
Absolutely. So yes, we do understand that a full as-a-service offering is not necessarily the best fit for every organization. We do offer customized support based on your individual needs, and we do that through our offering of professional services credits. And those are very flexible ways to execute professional services in a flexible way that can meet your company's goals and objectives.
Excellent. Next question. How can you ensure that this service will also cover some customer-specific tasks, like onboarding applications to the cloud that will be different for each customer? Mansoor?
That is a great question. We know that there are always a specific need for custom DevOps work. This is why we have the option to incorporate dedicated engineering effort within the service offering. Depending on your level of need, you will receive a set number of engineering man days per month or quarter to be used on your specific task. Tom?
Excellent. You're calling out static analysis, image signing, etc., as security activities in pipeline as your service. What others would you consider as important? Damian, let me pose that to you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, no, security is really, really important. And that's why we always recommend making security a focus topic of, our phases of discovery, assessment, and also execution. The topics that we normally cover are things like who's responsible in your organization for security and compliance. What are the compliance frameworks you have? And then also, what are the tools and procedures that show alignment to those frameworks? Have you a cross-functional RACI defined, for example, to show how you accomplish your organization's security objectives? Are you even able to perform continuous assessments against your cloud environment? I mean, interestingly, compliance automation, it's a perfect example of how technology and its usage is is innovating and enabling our existing customers to shift left. For example, in the US, FedRAMP suppliers will now be mandated to provide proof of implementation that follows these types of industry best practices by September of this year. These sorts of considerations can be fully addressed in your service under our DevSecOps framework. Thanks, Tom.
Excellent. I think we have time for one more question. What does the as your service part of your offering actually mean? Mansoor?
Yeah, so Tom, another great question. This simply means that we will customize our deliverables to your specific needs. Every customer has a different infrastructure setup and enterprise policy. Workloads and their requirements are different. Thus, our service must be able to adjust accordingly. Although a major part of the service will be common for all customers, as there are certain best practices that we all know work well. However, part of this offering will be created as your service. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's webcast. I want to give a big thanks to our speakers, Mansoor Ali, Damian Jennings, and Amanda Phelps of Mirantis, for sharing their expertise and insights with us. And thanks especially to you, our viewers, for tuning in. Please be sure to check out the resources section on your console for links to some valuable Mirantis resources. Also, if you have a question or comment about this webcast, just type it into the Q&A box. We'll get back to you with an answer within a few days. For Mirantis and IDG, I'm Tom Schmidt.